Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Problem Solving. Come to problem solving, come to life. So, we talked about that part of life yesterday where we tend to lean on others. In the macro perspective, life isn't complete with that person that you are leaning on, or that person that you could lean on, or that person who you should lean on, etc. That's completeness of life. That's a comprehensive view of the world. Forget the philosophy not. We are all for each other. So, using him as an asset, as your asset, is not a wrong policy at all. But doing it prematurely is a problem, and majority of the times you may not be in such vicious engagement of the problem that you only need to cry for help, help, help. I often see this little example as a model of big thoughts and big ideas about life. A child is locked inside a small room. A child is locked inside a small room. For whatever reason, whatever the story at the back was, we will currently not look at that. The situation is, the problem starts here. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm counting the moments. On the 8th moment, the child realizes that he's locked from in the room. And he keeps on banging the door, banging the door, banging the door. He keeps on banging the door. There's a lot of commotion. And somebody hears that, somebody passes the message on to somebody else. Like that, there are 8 people standing outside the door. What do? The child is shouting for help, help, help. What do the people standing outside do? They can't do anything. They can't do anything. Nothing can be done. The child is shouting for help. He's inside the room. Nothing can be done. Because the door is locked from inside. The door is locked from inside. The only person who can help in this matter is the child himself. Why that happened, how it happened, we'll forget it for a while. This is a beautiful picture of our life and our attitude and our disposition with respect to problems. Our physical disposition, our mental disposition, our spiritual disposition. This is a wonderful capsule of how we envisage a problem. How we look at the problem. How soon we seek help. So, that help song, cry, a bad music, hold it for a while. We can always use it at a later stage. If somebody actually comes to help you and he breaks the whole frame and he brings you out, can we afford that kind of experiment? What will be the time cost? What will be the money involved in doing all this operation? So are we looking for a more expensive operation? Are we looking at a more expensive operation? Are we worried for days that the landlord will come and ask for the rent? Or is there a friend in us? Is there an alter ego? Is there an alter ego in me that says, well, let him come, let's see. Let him come, let's see. Do we have that? So, do we have a ghost like understanding about a problem? And you know, ghosts simply do not exist. If at all they exist, they are our own creations, the creations of our weak mind. Ghosts do not exist. We create them. On one side, it meets our dramatic requirement. On the other side, it meets our requirement of imagination. So we create the ghosts. We will look at a respite from leaning with a simple strategy. Explore yourself fully. Explore yourself fully. I don't know whether I'm too judgmental about this. This has not yet come into our commenting perspective. It's yet not come into a commenting perspective, but I strongly believe that a goalkeeper's concentration of the ball the goalkeeper's concentration on the ball, of the ball, is directly proportional to how close the ball comes to the goalkeeper. So, as the free kick engager comes darting in, suppose he's at this level of concentration, I believe it will go up steadily. And as the point comes where the ball starts swinging, as experienced goalkeeper, he knows the ball will swing. As he sees the ball swinging, his concentration would also grow exponentially. It will also grow exponentially. I don't promise the results. I don't say that the goal will not be scored. I'm not saying that. I don't promise the result. But as a natural response to the situation, his craft might go exponential. The complexities of the last moment and the fidelity of the ball at the last moment as it enters the net, is going to be much more intense, sometimes immense, compared to how benign the ball looked when it was standing on the ground, quietly standing. It looked like a saint. No problems. It looked like a saint. The ball was a benign object while it was standing on the ground. Look at it closely. What does it do? It doesn't do anything. It's standing there quietly. There's no fielder around. The game is frozen. The problems start as the man coming, darting in, kicks the ball, and the ball is traveling to you. Take this as a simulation. So we respond, somewhere we respond. We might be playing a dual ballet, I don't know. It's a beautiful simulation. It's a beautiful exploration that problems might be moving the same way as two people who are performing a replica act. in a ballet. So we have not explored that graph, and that is the reason we feel prematurely defeated. We lose our wicket without the ball being bowled. Therefore, that brings me to another point in the context of why we lean over others, why we tend to lean over others, that we are not sportive. That we are not sportive. We don't like sport. We don't want somebody else to be winning. And therefore, we also deny ourselves a chance to win. Tragic. Tragic. We don't want others to win. Therefore, we don't participate. We don't want the game to come up at all. There are others who allow others to win. Others who allow their opponents to win. And therefore, their winning becomes much more significant. Much more significant. In that event of goal of the century, what they call goal of the century, semi-final Argentina versus England, 1986, few minutes after the infamous hand of God goal, Maradona ran and ran and ran magically, majestically to record the goal of the century. After match, Diego Maradona paid compliment to England players for being sporting. He said they could have easily brought me down and not allowed me to make that event happen. And you must be knowing, those of you who follow football, Maradona is one of the most hacked players in the history of football. By the time Messi came, footballing laws were far more stringent. But in the 80s and 90s, the predominant period of Maradona's excellence in football, that period had football was raw. Administratively, it had not become as fine a game as it is now. Cameras and reviews were not possible that time. Probably we are coming to a terms that somebody can get a red card or a yellow card. Somebody can get a red card or a yellow card even after the game is over. That provision is there, and I'm sure it will take the football skills to a sky-high level. Can't we have that? Coming back to Maradona issue, he paid compliment to English players. They could have easily brought him down. So good things happen under exigencies, emergencies, constraints. Your ability to, or your tendency to lean on others for problem solving will only help them. You will never get that experience of problem solving. You will never get that experience of problem solving. howsoever spiritual a mother is at the cooking, howsoever good she wishes the taste and nutrition for her children, somewhere after everybody has eaten, she still wants to have a piece of that cake, the piece of that cake that she has baked for them. It's very natural. So would you like to be that mother who only cooks for others and never tastes? So you're cooking a beautiful problem for your friend, but you are left without a taste of that problem. Would you do that? Ni, nor, nay. That's not the spirit. That's not the spirit of life. So, being unsportive, being in a situation that you want life to be stale all the time, you will tend to do this more and more and more you become frigid. The moment you walk in somebody's room, hey, can I come and see you? He knows, oh my God, your host will know, oh, he's going to have a sob story, another sob story. We generally avoid playing a game, and therefore sports is very important. Those of you who are not in sports, please remember that losing a point and winning a point, the whole attitude towards life is different. So may I avoid getting defeated on the pitch, in the court. May I avoid being defeated in the court by defeating myself from the beginning of the time. From the beginning of the time, you're defeated. So play on. Things would only be better. And for those of you who feel not encouraged to test your might in the field, you can start playing games in your mind. You can start playing games in your mind. And the pitches and the courts and the balls and the rackets and the speeds and the tackles and the headers would come forth much more easily, and your reactions to those challenges will come much more easily. I promise. I have no hesitation in making a promise this time. Start playing in the mind, things will be different. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, may I sign off this episode with the message, come to problem solving, come to life.